Welcome to another episode of the Sorted Conversation, and I am really excited to introduce a very special guest for our Father's Day special, my one and only, my dad. So, welcome, Dad.
Thank you for having me here.
This is our first in-person episode of the Sorted Conversation, and really excited that you are our first guest.
Thank you very much for having me.
So this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to go so much into being a small business owner, but really just get nitty gritty and get to know you and a little bit more about your story. So, intro, he's my dad and he was born in Trinidad, but I'm really going to allow him to kind of tell a little bit of his story. And today's beverage of choice is one of his wines that is imported. Do you want to talk a little bit?
This is a Cabernet from Argentina, right? We have exclusive to the United States. Mm-hmm. And we have 32 different wines from different countries and also from the U.S.
Awesome. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So if you want to introduce a little bit about yourself, where you come from.
Okay, I am now coming up to 63 years old, I think.
63 years young.
Okay. It's been a great journey to get to this age, right? I left, my parents sent me abroad to Ireland to school when I was 13 years old, to a Catholic boarding school. And at that school, my intention was to become a priest.
A priest,
which you should be very thankful for.
Because if not, I wouldn't exist.
If not, you would not be here. So I actually did two years in the Catholic school, also in a seminary, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I got introduced to Irish girls and decided I would not become a priest anymore.
Oh my God. Wow, okay.
However, it was a very long distance away from Trinidad, mm-hmm. and my parents, although they were financially stable to take us over there to put us to school, my older brother Ricardo and myself, they didn't have the finances to bring us back to Trinidad during the holidays. Mm-hmm. So we actually spent Christmas in strangers' homes.
Wow.
And Easter and whatnot. We came home once a year in the summertime. So that got a little bit lonely as far as the family life is concerned, but we had great Irish friends that we lived with. As a matter of fact, the first family that we boarded with, the sons of the lady, Mrs. Clancy was her name. Mm-hmm. They were actually the backup singers for what's his name? James Taylor.
Oh wow!
And they used to teach me. I was in there when they were doing their
So you know all the moves
and stuff. No. They were the guitarists.
Oh, okay. I thought you said backup dancers. Sorry.
Backup singer, the backup musicians.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and at that time, James Taylor was now getting into the music industry. Mm-hmm. So that was quite interesting. But after the 2 years, we decided that we finished what we call primary school, mm-hmm. okay, which is more like senior high.
Like high school senior?
High school here,
okay.
All right. And then what we did was Ricardo decided he didn't want to do the long distance thing anymore, so he decided to go back home.
And you stayed?
And we had finished the schooling and so forth, and then I decided to go to Canada.
Okay.
Well, my parents gave me the opportunity.
To go to
Your grandparents gave me the opportunity to continue schooling
Uh-huh.
in Canada with the hopes that I would become a lawyer or a doctor or a very successful businessman.
What were you studying?
At the time, it was just business,
Uh-huh.
a business administration type certificate. Well, it was still part of the primary school education. Once I finished that and I graduated, because in Canada there are 13 grades,
Yeah.
whereas in Ireland there's 12 grades.
Right.
So I did a 13th grade in Canada.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided to go to Ryerson to become involved in computers.
Okay.
So it was computer administration, computer programming, and stuff like that.
Before computers were really a thing.
Well, it was when computers, you had to punch the program on a card, and then it goes into a card reader, right? And yeah, I was there with the dinosaurs, definitely.
The start of the game,
Okay.
and now look at us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then, once I had done 2 years of university up in Canada, my parents decided to purchase a home in Florida, a vacation home in Florida, and it was very close to one of the most famous universities down here in Florida, Florida International University. It was only about a mile and a half away. So we decided that it would be better for me to move to the United States, because at that time it was a very important opportunity to get a residency. So my father, your grandfather, actually got his residency due to his sister Donna, who lived in Washington. And once they got their residency, they saw an opportunity for their kids to get the residency.
Right.
So I took the opportunity to move to Florida and continue school at FIU, which was close to the home that they bought.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, I had to get a summer job or a part-time job in order to do the things that I was not allowed to do with the finances.
The under the table fund.
Well, no, what happened is that my parents, your grandparents, paid for schooling and paid for housing and paid for food, but they didn't pay for partying.
Yeah.
So
downtime.
My first job, I had a job at Caribbean Cargo on the weekends. Packaging the cargo pallets that would go into the cargo airplanes that would go to the islands.
Wow.
Trinidad, Jamaica, Grenada, and so forth.
That's awesome.
So I got that, and that's how I learned to drive a forklift. Because we had to move the pallets.
He drives a forklift these days too.
Yeah, there you go.
In a different avenue.
Right. So once I got that job, I liked the fact that I was making my own money. Okay, though it was little. So I applied to Eastern Airlines. Okay, greatest airline in the world. I'm sorry to say, American, forget it. And basically, what I did, I went in for the interview. I did the computer programming test, which is my goal in life,
Right.
was to become a computer programmer. Right, that's what was my schooling. Right, and I got the job
Before you even finished school.
before I finished school.
That's awesome.
Okay, so basically they told me to report to work on Thursday afternoon at 2:00.
Oh, that means you couldn't go to school.
Okay, so I could go to school and whatnot.
Oh, so they still
Okay.
fluctuated your schedule.
Right.
Okay.
So, but to my surprise, I passed the computer test with 98%. Okay, so I thought I was a computer programmer to be. However, when I got to the Building 11 at Eastern Airlines, which was at the corner of 36th Street and Lejeune Road, I walked into the first floor and I met my first boss, Mr. Ray King. And he introduced himself, I introduced myself, I had my tie on, I had my little starchy shirt on, I ironed before the night before and everything else. And then we got into the elevator, and it's like it was a 9-story building, 9 or 11, building 11, an 11-story building,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and he pushed the basement button,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Wait, we have basements?
They had a basement,
Oh.
okay, and when the doors opened, it was a stockroom. And he handed me the keys to the forklift and he says, "Welcome to Eastern Airlines. You start at the bottom."
Oh. You're not a computer programmer.
You're not a computer programmer. You're a computer programmer wannabe.
Uh-huh.
So basically they said, you will be here for 6 months,
Okay.
okay? And then we will move you to the first floor and you'll be there for 6 more months. And then we'll start talking about whether you're going to go and do computer programming.
Good for them.
Good. So I took the opportunity to reorganize everything, and within 1 month and a half, they moved me upstairs to the first
Floor one.
Floor one. I was in charge of the results of the programmers. Their results, I had to rip the paper and remove the carbon paper in between the results.
Carbon paper.
Carbon paper, okay, and stack the reports, and then the programmers would get the reports in the morning because I was on graveyard shift.
Okay.
So that I was supposed to do that for 6 months. However, within 3 weeks, I was able to jump over into the other room and actually work the computers, which were actually big tape disk computers from IBM. So I would have to load the tape so that the computers can load the program, that they can run the program. These programs were the programs that they use to fly the airplanes, the
Right.
flight plans and all this type of
Wow.
stuff. So it was very interesting, very different from today,
Yeah.
definitely. So after that, I spent 2 months in a computer room, and then I went. There was an opportunity. There was a programming class opening in their computer reservation system,
Mm-hmm.
where the programmers were on 36th Street and 97th Avenue down in Doral. And I asked my boss if I could move over, and I got the job.
Okay.
So
Eastern, and then?
then I spent the rest of my life with Eastern until they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. No, they didn't go bankrupt. I think they got sold.
Yeah.
They folded, but they were sold off to Continental Airlines.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I actually worked for Eastern Airlines, and then Continental Airlines, and then EDS, Electronic Data Systems. They bought over the Continental Airlines reservation system, which was System 1. And then HP bought over EDS. And then, Amadeus bought over EDS. And then HP bought over the Amadeus section, or whatever the case may be. Something of that nature. So basically, I ended up with, because I was transitioned under each company under the same umbrella, I ended up with 35 years in the industry, in the airline industry.
That's insane.
Right. During that time, you guys became. She has a brother.
An older brother.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody knows me, you know that my dad is my absolute best friend, the rock of the family. You're also the creator of my name.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? Because let me tell you, as a kid, I struggled. I remember walking in to my kindergarten class, and my teacher looked at me and said, "How do you say your name?" And I had absolutely no idea how to even pronounce my name. So, what's the story? How did that
Well, what happened when you were conceived and on the way to becoming a person? Okay. We spent a lot of time looking at movies. Okay, and one of my favorite movies was, I think it came from Casablanca, but I'm not really sure. It might have been. It's a Russian movie. Lara, I remember Lara, and I remember that Lara, her real name was Tachiana. And I didn't like that Tachiana.
No offense to any Tatianas out there.
Okay, just the way it was pronounced. Okay, and but I like the Russian pronunciation of things. They have this long, the way that they pronounce them.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with Tachiana.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, we can call her Tachi. Okay, and so that's how Tachiana was born.
It's a good name.
Yeah. Well, it was very complicated in the first part of your life, for sure.
It's still complicated now. I am very much a Tatiana to some,
Yeah.
but I love it, so
Yeah.
thanks. I'm also left-handed because of this gentleman here.
Well, I always thought from adult point of view,
Oh boy.
okay, that left-handed girls were sexy.
Not saying that he wanted his daughter to be sexy.
Okay.
That's not what he's saying.
I didn't say that. Okay. But I always thought that. But I always liked the fact that, well,
The interest of it, like
not only that,
uniqueness.
your granddad was
Yes.
was
Left-handed.
He was left-handed. He would sign with his left hand, but he would work with his right hand.
So ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. That's the word. Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
So really and truly, when you were growing up, I kind of nurtured you to
Nurtured, aka he took my crayon out of my right hand and made me use my left hand.
I'm not a bad dad. I just like the fact that I was different.
Some may say that was child abuse back then,
Yeah.
but
However, but instead of you signing with your left hand, you sign with your right hand, right?
I write and eat with my left, and everything else I do with my right.
Right.
So I throw a ball with my right. My right is my dominant side. When I was in college, I remember I was taking a course, and I even had a conversation with my professor, and I was like, "Hey, so this is what my dad did." She's like, "You're ambidextrous. You just have to practice." So if I practice with my right, then I could essentially write with it also.
Mm-hmm.
But I write with my left, and I also eat with my left, which is, to my understanding, like the proper way to eat is with your left hand with your fork. I don't know. That's
Yes.
what I remember.
Yes.
So it's always been.
However, you also bat with your left hand.
I do.
Woohoo!
I can cross bat. Is that
Yeah.
what is that? Is that how you say it?
I think. Yeah.
I was the secret weapon of the softball team because I was so tiny.
Which I coach.
Yes, with our neighbor Bobby,
Hmm.
and his daughter played on the same team. But yeah, everything else I do with my right, which is ironically the reason why I broke my right arm, because it's my dominant arm.
Mm.
It's still my strongest and most dominant arm too. Cool. So talking about softball and like dominating sides, I guess. You had a very unique way of raising me, and obviously my brother, but me being a girl, I wasn't always like ruffles and bows in my hair.
No, I didn't believe in you being soft and girly, and even from very little, you were boisterous in the sense that, and in the old days, it was a man's world.
Oh, it still is.
Okay, in the
We're
old days,
working on
it was hard. It was a hard man's world.
Yeah.
And the girls were the homebodies.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in that.
Good.
I believe that women should pull their own weight and do their own thing and be as successful, if not more successful than men, because they're on an equal level. So you grew up as being a tough as nails, just like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have seen that you've taken that all the way through your life to the point where you can be too girlish.
Where you've been like, hold on, tone it down, like that much?
No, it's like, okay, I can drive across the United States by myself, Dad. You don't need to look at me.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the best trip.
Yeah.
One of my best life experiences was driving from California to Florida.
Well, I was only nervous about 23 hours a day.
23 hours a day?
Yeah, on your trip.
I was only driving 9 hours a day, I think.
Yeah, but
or 12 hours a day.
Yeah, but I was so nervous about the fact that you were in a hotel sleeping in a place that by yourself and whatnot.
Oh, man.
But that's okay because I slept for 1 hour.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's good, right? It works for me.
No, I'm glad that you raised me that way. So you taught me how to like cut the grass and work on cars. Like I knew my tools before I probably knew like makeup brushes.
Mm.
I remember like you saying like, pass me the Phillips screwdriver, and I'm like, so and now I do it. I remember in high school when I got my car, like not my first car, senior year, when I was like I was working, but not specifically just driving to school and driving home. I was driving to work and doing things and going out with the girls and whatever. I remember you took my spare tire out of the car so that I wouldn't pull over on the side of the road and change my tire by myself.
Well, that's because I was a little bit protective.
Until I had a flat tire and then he had to come and change it.
Yeah, but I love doing that.
So thanks for raising me that way.
Well, it was a little bit different from what other people do, but
Did because now they're doing it.
Yeah.
So you were ahead of the times.
All right. So the thing is, it brought you into the reality of owning your own business and so forth, and moving to LA by yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay, living there for a year, 18 months, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And now having Sorted Olio.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think it was a good way. That what I've gotten out of it is the fact that you're such a strong business person. Okay, to the point where I thought I knew more than you, but there is a lot of things that you know more than me.
You know more than me.
Okay. No, I've got a lot of physicals.
I've just got the newer part of it.
Right.
Growing up with it, it's different.
Yeah, but
you built the computers, but now we're working on the computers.
Right. So, okay. Yeah. But no, but I'm also very proud of the fact that the way you talk,
Thanks.
the way you handle your business, the way you handle emotions, the way you handle, the company.
Thanks.
Right? I would love for you to be more involved in my companies, but the thing is that you need to focus on yours. And Sorted Olio, it's going to be a great success.
Thanks. Oh, don't get me all emotional. Well, speaking of his companies, my dad has more than one. He is an entrepreneur times
Three?
Three.
4, 3. Well,
3 and developed into, and it was like 4.
4 and then we closed one down
right.
for this location.
For Sorted Olio's office. But we will do another episode of the Sorted Conversation to further discuss someone to do it, as well as your importing business, importing and distribution. So stay tuned for that to come. But we have some rapid fire questions.
Let me have some more
Do you
wine.
want some more wine?
It's actually very good wine.
It is good wine. Ooh. I get lessons on how to pour wine. That's not a full glass, sorry.
That's okay.
Not touching the rim of the glass, and it's a whole process. But also, little fun fact, this sweater is my dad's. So he was actually giving it away and he was donating it, and I snuck it out of the Goodwill bag last minute many years ago. But every Take Your Child to Work day, I went to my dad's office between EDS and Amadeus, and this sweater has gone through almost every office that you worked in within corporate America, because the offices were freezing cold. But
Computers.
yeah. I didn't know, but I remember growing up going to these Take Your Child to Work days. You guys didn't do much work. I remember like chair races, and it was a whole day of just like fun, and I was like, man, I want to do what my dad does. Like, this is so fun. False advertisement. That is not what happened, but there were a lot of memories tied to the sweater, so I snuck it out many years ago, and I've never given it up.
Well, that's great, and that's what is probably 20, 30 years old.
Well, if you've been with
20.
Eastern and Company for 35 years, then yeah, probably.
At 30 years old.
From EDS office.
Right, because I've been gone from that industry for 8-10 more years already.
Yeah.
No, but the chair races and all that type of stuff is a fun part. Unfortunately for me, I was with the group that made things fun at work.
Unfortunately, is that what you said?
I don't know, fortunately.
Oh, I was like, unfortunately.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
what we did was we turned the work environment into something that we want to look forward to going into work for.
Yeah.
And that's how I built my other companies.
Yeah.
We look forward to going to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
They're still doing chair races, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Or racing boats.
Right. Now, today, we're all working off virtual offices, and there's no chair racing at home.
You don't have virtual office. He works outside in his marina with boats and fresh air and the chair races.
Forklift.
And forklifts. So if they get one more forklift, there'll be a forklift race. But I'm sure somebody's raced on the 3-wheel bicycle with the forklift.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Oh, well.
That's going to happen this weekend.
Someone to do it. Races is on. I'm taking bets on.
But we do have a 3-wheel bicycle. That's right, yeah.
I'm taking bets on the bicycle for sure. So we're going to do rapid fire questions. I'm just going to say something very quickly, and you have to rapid fire answer. No hesitation, no overthinking. It's not like life or death, and it's not going to change your life. You ready? Okay. Morning or night?
What?
Morning or night?
Morning.
Oh, really? Favorite color?
Blue.
Someone to do it. Favorite holiday?
Christmas. New Year's.
Oh, wow.
New Year's.
It used to be Halloween. Halloween was huge for us.
You're right. It was. It still is Halloween. It's just that because of COVID and everything else, we haven't done it really for 2 years. Okay. The New Year's Eve party, which is the one that every year we do,
Yeah.
right? It was a family thing, right? And it was, but it was also very creative.
Yeah.
But from internal family, yourself and your brother and myself and whatnot, Halloween, and it still is
Yeah.
a great.
But New Year's is your thing now. So every New Year's there's a different theme.
Mhm.
The theme does not get, it doesn't get shared until like a week before New Year's these days. But some themes that we've done in the past, or you've done in the past, was Egyptian, Hollywood.
New York ball dropping.
We did like the NYC ball.
We did air balloons.
Mm-hmm.
We did where with the air balloons where you got a lit.
Got to make a wish.
You had to make a wish and tie the wish onto the balloon.
To the eco-friendly balloon that went into the
balloon and it went up into the air and so forth.
Yeah.
We did. What did we do? We did Hollywood.
Oh, we did South Beach, like white party.
We did a white party. We did Hollywood also.
Yeah, that was last year. Not last year, the year before.
The year before, where Glamour showed red carpet.
Mm-hmm. Ironically, when I was living in California.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you missed that one.
No, I came back. I came back.
That's
Every
right.
6 months, I came back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So every year is a different theme.
Right. Halloween was the favorite when you were younger.
We used to do that haunted house.
We did a haunted house
for that nonprofit.
The nonprofit, where we did the dungeons and whatnot, which was fantastic. Okay, it's a great memory and everything else. It had nightmares sometimes. Okay, because of the thing that we were the bad guys.
Well, so it was a family affair because like it was you, my brother, and myself in the same room. But I played the victim, so I didn't start in the room. I started in the
Audience.
like in the audience, and I would go in with a group, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Plus, I was much smaller than I am now, but I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself. Nobody wanted to come in with me. Can I please stay with you? And did the whole. I should have gotten into acting.
Mm-hmm.
I should have, because I was
well,
so
we tried
good.
that also, yeah.
But then he would grab me out of the audience and torture me. As the audience had already like gained a relationship with me. Now that when I think about it, like here in 2021, like when we were doing this like in the 90s, this is a little extreme. But as the audience exited, like, and I'm getting tortured whichever way, you also like cut the head off of my baby doll, Susie Wong. So then
Ring around the rosy.
So then the audience would keep going through the haunted house, and I would run out the exit door, and then I would be like in the graveyard, like, you didn't save me, why didn't you save me?
Yeah, where your head would be in the garden.
It's super dark now. We can't do those things in 2021,
but it was great.
In the 90s, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was a family affair. And we did a haunted house, like, in front of the house.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the favorite holiday as you guys were growing up.
As a child.
As children. And becoming adults and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you would participate in be in the coffins and and that type of stuff. Now even the grandkids had participated in that as they were getting a little bit, yeah. But the thing that we focus on now as adults is more the New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a family gathering where we keep everybody close to home.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be out on the street.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we try to be creative with the different types of parties and stuff like that we do there.
So if anybody wonders where the creativity of Sorted Olio's custom packages comes from, here's part of that foundation. I grew up with it.
I'm not really sure. You're much smarter than I am. Okay.
Creative, for sure. Like when we do Egyptian, like he builds a pyramid in front of the house. Like it's not just like throw up something on the wall and like take pictures. Like we're building structures for the night.
The day before.
Yeah, the day before. I'm telling you, the theme isn't actually announced early enough.
No.
Okay, ready?
I'm not really sure what's happening this year.
We won't know until the week of Christmas.
Right.
It's great. Okay. Nicknames that your friends used to call you.
Wolfie.
Wolfie! I had no idea. Why'd they call you Wolfie?
Because my hair used to be like Michael Jackson, and I was the fastest sprint runner in my college. So when I ran, my afro used to go back.
Oh, I wish that we could have pictures of this.
I have it, but I'm not showing it to you.
I have that soccer one with your afro.
Well, okay, and then there's actually one that has a band in front here that says Wolfie on it.
Oh, you should be Granddad Wolfie.
No, that's not going to happen.
If you could pick a superpower, what would it be? Rapid. What?
Longer life.
Longer life?
That's a superpower. I'm very happy with what I have as far as a power.
Uh-huh.
I just want to live longer so that I can be with you guys.
Oh, that's sweet. It's getting sentimental.
Oh, that's a hard one for you.
Sentimental. If you can travel anywhere tomorrow, COVID not impactful, tomorrow morning, where are you going? You pack your bags tonight and go.
To my mother's in Trinidad.
Yes. Anybody have a plane? Let us know. We gotta go. Cake or pie?
Chocolate cake.
Ooh. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Anybody knows me? That's where my chocolate started. Favorite car?
Jaguar. Convertible. Black.
Not the ones that you have. Favorite car in general. not out of your own garage.
I have my favorite car.
You have your favorite car?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
My convertible.
Some people will never own their favorite car.
No, I have my favorite car.
I thought you were going to say the Gran Torino.
No, the Gran Torino was just the Gran Torino was actually a hand down from the other side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it was just a nice to have because it was a classic car.
Yeah.
Okay, but my favorite car today, I already have it.
That's awesome. You just got to drive it more often.
Yeah. Black on black.
Top down.
Top down.
With Lola in the back seat.
And she loves it.
She does. Until she's tired of the wind.
And so does the grandkids.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Climb a mountain or jump out of a plane?
Say that again?
Climb a mountain or jump out of a plane?
Climb a damn mountain.
Do you pour your cereal first or your milk first?
Cereal.
Good. Want to live in a cave or a tree house?
I hate caves.
Why?
Because there are bears in there.
Not always.
Always.
There could be a bear inside of a tree.
Yes, but you're high up and you have safety and you can see down.
Did you see the lady in California that the bear was like climbing over her fence and her dogs went running?
Yes, and she pushed the bear. That's all. But caves have hidden crevices and you don't know if there are sticky people in there. You haven't looked at a lot of horror movies.
I haven't gone to many caves. I've climbed mountains. I did a lot of hiking well, not a lot.
Right, but don't go into caves.
No.
Right.
But you guys were nervous when I went hiking when I was in California.
Absolutely. Yes, because we know about what happens in the wilderness.
It's not the wilderness. It's
Hollywood.
No. It wasn't the wilderness.
No, there can be bears and stuff.
There's no bears in Hollywood.
No, well.
There's.
I go mushroom hunting in Sweden, and I'm always looking to see if something's going to be coming on behind the trees.
Sweden is very different than Hollywood. I promise you.
Oh, okay. You have to worry about the humans in Hollywood.
Yes.
You have to worry about the animals in Sweden.
I once met a pet goat in Hollywood on Sunset Strip. It was a pet goat. Like the way I walk Lola.
Did they say hello?
The way I walk Lola is the way that he was walking his goat. So.
Okay.
Newspaper or magazine?
Magazine.
How do you take your coffee?
Black. No sugar.
No milk?
No milk.
You changed. You used to do milk and sugar.
When I was younger.
Oh.
But the whole milk thing gets into the stomach and the gastro and 63 years old. And
We're switching over to plant-based over here.
no.
Okay, so we're going to switch over to some dad advice.
Dad advice.
Dad advice.
It's hard to give dad advice to somebody that knows everything that she needs to know.
No, she never knows everything that she needs to know.
No.
That would be complacent.
Dad advice. First dad advice before asking the question, have a glass of wine every night.
Every night?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that every night. That's not productive.
It is productive. It's very creative, actually.
My creativity comes from a different place. Not from a bottle.
You what?
My creativity doesn't come from a bottle. Like
No,
I clear my mind in the gym or being outside or just talking to people. Like my ideas kind of like flow when I just talk to people. Since we are a service-based company, understanding people, understanding the needs of the community is like what helps us grow.
Right.
So disconnecting not necessarily is always the best thing because we need to evolve with the times.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're in e-commerce, like we still have to adjust, and whether that's adjust like the products that we carry or adjust what packaging we'd use or whatever the case is. Like it's a really about like spending more time with people really than like disconnecting.
Right.
So the bottle doesn't help me unless I'm sitting at a bar with people with the bottle.
Well, actually, having a glass of wine at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
on my side of the fence,
Mhm.
is that I've dealt with people all day long.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm the opposite.
Right? And your creativity happens during the day.
Uh-huh.
My people skills happen during the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I come home and I have a glass of wine, it's more to relax and hope not to answer the phone.
Close the door for
Close it,
work.
yeah.
And I'm the opposite schedule.
Right, yeah. Because of the type of business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you're consumer facing, I'm not consumer facing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and definitely so.
When I was consumer facing, that for sure would have been the way that I would go. But I take it out on the gym, which I credit you. Like my love and passion for the gym started like as a kid. You used to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You were very active.
Yeah.
And
No, and I used to love the gym.
yeah.
And it just, I don't have the time for the gym. I don't have time to make for the gym, so don't put that on me. Okay. I'm working 7 days a week,
Yep.
but I'm working at one of my businesses that I enjoy working for.
Yeah. And you're
Okay.
active. You are moving.
Yeah. And I'm losing weight.
We just got to change some of the habits.
Yeah.
Some of the food habits.
I have 5 bottles of water today and I feel like a porpoise.
Okay. Going into some dad advice.
I need no.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a veggie?
Veggie.
Why?
Because it's red and it's mushy.
That is not a scientific answer for the record. That is not what it is.
It is not a fruit.
It has a seed.
Fruit, is that the definition of a fruit?
Yeah.
Something that has a seed?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
I believe
You
so.
guys are in the new world.
Yeah. Well,
It's always been a carrots, peppers, cucumbers.
oh, well, I don't know. That doesn't make sense because peppers have seeds too.
Right. It's
No,
a
but
vegetable.
there is. We're gonna look it up. Comments below if A tomato is a fruit or a veggie in your book.
Push the button on this side here because I'm right.
If there was a button, I'll put a poll in our story on Instagram. And if you could only have one tool in your toolbox, only one, what would it be?
A vice grip.
That's the only tool you would pick?
Yeah.
A vice grip?
Yeah.
How are you going to take a screw out?
With a vice grip.
How?
You hold the head of the
and then
screw
twist.
And you twist.
What if you can't get the head of the screw because it's
Tough luck, I can't get a screw.
I don't know if I would have picked that.
What would you pick? Oh, can I ask that question?
We're gonna ask questions at the end.
Yeah.
I still get to go through. Why can't humans tickle themselves? Have you tried to tickle yourself? It's impossible.
No, I usually scratch myself.
But did you know that humans can't tickle yourself? You can't tickle yourself?
I don't know. I think I can tickle my
You
toes.
can't tickle yourself. Try scratching the bottom of your foot. It doesn't tickle. It doesn't like.
Yeah, no, that's because it's hard as rock right now. So, with all the walking and the forklift driving and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Challenge. What is an olio?
What is that?
An olio. You better know this.
An olio.
Yeah. Sorted olio. What is an olio?
I am going to have the wrong answer for this.
I would love to know your answer.
That's the name of my daughter's company.
What does an olio mean?
I don't know.
You should know this. There was a lot of conversation between what to call the company and why to call it that. There's history behind the name. Not necessarily history, but meaning.
Okay, it's been a long day. What is an olio?
An olio is a miscellaneous collection.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, so sorted olio.
Yes.
It is an organized miscellaneous collection.
Oh yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a very strange name for me.
It is. Some people think it's olive oil.
But so is Tachiana. So.
And it's been successful thus far. What was your favorite, or what is your favorite family tradition when you were growing up?
Making pastels at Christmas time?
Oh, one of my favorites too. If anybody doesn't know what a pastel is, it's also like a tamale, or there's another word too. Comment below also if you have a different version of a tamale in your culture. Oh, we should start that back. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of faded away when Granddad
Passed.
passed.
Yeah.
Away, yeah.
What is your biggest achievement? Biggest achievement.
My biggest achievement is the fact that I have both my kids alive and working and doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Although your brother works in the boatyard and the marina,
Family business.
it's still a family business, and we're all together still.
Yeah.
So.
What?
And you're moving into a great successful area of your company.
Thanks. What is your greatest achievement? Not necessarily means that you've accomplished it, or what would be your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement is right now is at this point in my life is the fact that I own multiple businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I own multiple real estates that is protecting my family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I am survived cancer.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yep.
That is your greatest achievement.
Yep.
Because you got some time.
Hmm.
You got to spend with us.
Yep. About 30 more years.
30 more years. Oh man, I'm going to be old in 30 more years.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be that old. I'm just going to be
You're just going to stay the same
Yeah.
at this age.
Yeah. Plus, I got vaccinated, so I'm good.
Have you done the magnet test to see if the magnet sticks to your arm?
What is that?
Apparently, what's on social media is like those that have gotten the vaccine, there's like a magnet that will stick to your arm. I'm sure it's like hocus pocus, but.
So then I shouldn't put a credit card here
Probably
because then
not.
it was like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, like you setting the example of creating a future has definitely created a foundation for myself. Like you have always been some sort of like plan ahead. Like I'm going to do this now so that this is the result for later.
That's more of a survival
Yeah.
for the future. As I grew older, the time between what I do, what I want to do, and what I want to accomplish is very short.
Very short. Very short. Not always not always the most manageable.
However, it's always successful.
I'm glad for that. It's not always like that for all of
Right.
us.
But not only that, because of the fact that you've brought up Sorted Olio to this level, you've actually taken away a lot of the things that I need to do by just saying, can you get this done for me?
We do a lot of packages and customization for someone to do it.
And today is Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes, I actually need a package for Friday morning.
We're going to wrap up this video shortly so I can get to the package that is needed in 2 days.
Because my second granddaughter is having a graduation party,
She is.
and I need to have a package. And if you can't do it, she's going to get money.
We don't do money.
No.
Well, those are all my questions, although I can probably talk to you forever because between all of your businesses and Sorted Olio, we don't get to do this very often. But now is your opportunity if you have any questions for myself personally or Sorted Olio or any of the above, or if you have rapid fire questions that you might have at the top of your head, this is your opportunity because I grilled you, you can grill me. Anything.
So the first question.
Now he looks into the camera.
Okay.
He's like, "Wow."
Okay. I look around into your office and I see that you've beautified the place. You've made it interesting. I haven't been here, and I apologize for the fact that I haven't had the time.
It's okay.
I haven't even had the time to actually get into your channel. Okay.
Subscribe.
Only because I'm very, very busy.
Yeah.
I need to take the time off. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It is getting better. But the question that I have for you is that when you started Sorted Olio, you started off in more of a general sales,
Yeah.
okay, which was interesting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you got into packaging and you're dropping off a little bit off on the general sales and whatnot. What is the direction that you're looking to do? What is the level and direction that you're taking Sorted Olio to?
So
At this point. right
At
now?
this point, there's definitely work behind the scenes of like figuring out the future of Sorted Olio. Not necessarily saying that there won't be some sort of general merchandise in the interim, but the goal and the mission still remains the same, which is to utilize technology as a tool and a resource to reconnect people with people, rather it being a wedge between human connection. So that still remains the same, whether that's supporting small businesses or supporting local artisans, but also reconnecting people with people so that they're not giving gift cards, so that they are able to customize a gift specific to that recipient and their occasion. So we are focusing a lot on those custom gifts and gift packages, whether it's like welcome packages for travel agents or traveling companies, or employee appreciation gifts, especially with people working from home. Like, just focusing on creating those custom gifts is really the direction that we're focusing on going, but still remaining accessible to the community. So there are a lot of other gifting companies out there. It's not like we're the first and we're not going to be the last. But what I've noticed is those gifting companies require a minimum quantity of like 150 gifts. That doesn't help the community, or that doesn't help the smaller end of the community. That helps corporations, and that's great. No like disrespect to any of those companies, but I'm very passionate, Sorted Olio is very passionate on supporting the community that we are among. So small businesses and local artisans and mom and pops. And
so it's a focus on local
being very relative. So since we are in e-commerce, it's at the top of your screen or a click of your mouse, you're local. So if you are in Texas and you're shopping on Sorted Olio, you could be purchasing product that is only necessarily available to the local community in Miami, but we're able to ship it to you when maybe that small business wasn't shipping to Texas. So local is very relative with Sorted Olio.
But in the case of, I think you also have event planning and so forth. The event planning is going to be local?
Totally open to doing outside, 100%. Like, we can work all those things out. So I don't like to be put in a box, and I don't want to put Sorted Olio in a box of like, oh, these are our limitations. I think that as a small business, there has to be flexibility and working to what is needed. If there is somebody that's in California that wants our services specifically, then we have to figure out how to do it. So I don't want to put ourselves in a box of like, this is all we do, and this is the only place that we can do it in. Yeah. I also don't want to be stuck in one location either. Living in California and like wanting to move back for family purposes and whatever the case is, I know that Miami is not necessarily my forever home, or somewhere that I have to stay 365 days out of the year. So I think there's room of creating that, and COVID kind of gave that experience to a lot of people, like working from home, and a lot of people from working from home or virtual schooling, they were doing that traveling, whether that was they found one destination during the year and they just sat there and they did it all, and they were living on a vacation life, or they converted a van and they were traveling the United States where there were no limitations as far as like driving restrictions. So it's just about creating the life. That's something that as I've grown older and more comfortable with what I want and who I am, staying in one place may not necessarily be what I want.
No, but the Sorted Olio could be,
correct.
It's all portable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
But the important part that you need to identify is, how do you provide that service outside of the area that you're in?
Yeah. Well, which is interesting because a lot of our consumers are outside of Florida. So we've had gift packages that went across the United States, and the client was Indiegogo, and they were based in San Francisco, and we shipped directly to each recipient's home. So it was 55 employees, and we sent them individually. They did a virtual meeting with their team, and everyone opened their packages at the same time. It was great. But even general merchandise, a lot of our consumers and our clients are not only in Florida. Texas, Arkansas, Ohio, New York. I mean, we're not just limited. So there's a lot of like hyper local things happening 100%. Like Cupid Fest happened in Miami. We do a lot of event setups here in Miami for Scotch Crew, Fedas International, for you, someone to do it, but we're not limited to just doing it in Miami or Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else?
And where do you see yourself in 5 years? Sorted Olio.
Sorted Olio?
No. Am I the interviewer or is she the interviewer?
It's a conversation.
Okay, there you go.
Sorted Olio, I would love for it to be just that. Like, it can work in different locations, not necessarily in one planted location, but also continuing to support the community, not just by providing access to these unique products and services, but also creating jobs. Is something that I'm very passionate about. I've worked corporate America for many years prior to Sorted Olio, and I have learned the importance to balance of life. And although I might be working more now as I own my own business, there's a very big difference to it.
You're your father's child.
Father's child. So I don't mind working those 12-hour days. They're long, they're exhausting, whatever. I'm working 7 days a week sometimes. I've gotten better to protect 2 hours out of my day to go to the gym, or Sunday to like take some time off, spend it with Lola, whatever. But I want to also be able to provide that balance to life for a team, and let others like experience what it is to work for a small business, make money, but also enjoy life. And someone to do it does that. I think that you are very focused on your team having time off, but also enjoying their day to day. And I mean, yes, 100%, it's hard work, and you guys are constantly moving, and you're in Miami sun. But at the end of the day, like, you all sit down and have lunch together, or if you're working Sundays or Saturdays together, like everyone is, fed and enjoying. Or if there's an emergency, like there's no hesitation, like go handle your family business, and like everyone's taken care of, and it's created such a family and a community, you know. So I want to do the same. I want to create a community, not just the Sorted Olio community of customers and small business partners and local artisans, but also being able to provide jobs for our community. Near and far, community being very relative to any location.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is good, which means that you can actually open up different locations in different countries, different states.
Yeah.
Sorry, we keep within the United States for right now.
But I think it's also really fun and interesting to bring other creative minds in, whether that's creating packages or social media or the website, because right now it's one mind, so to speak, just trying to handle it all. But further on, like being able to grow, if there are multiple locations, say there's a location on the West Coast and like packages can be created and shipped out on the West Coast, there would be collaboration between two minds on creating that package. So after speaking with the client, being able to create something that's very unique and outside of the box versus, those cookie cutter gifts that you're purchasing, and you go to the store and you see like 50 of the same thing,
Right, and
Yeah.
It's interesting. Even the packages that you create for us, for my different companies and whatnot. Which are your companies anyway? In any event, in the end, they're very unique. And they're very creative.
Thanks.
Okay, and this is why it's like it's a service that I cannot get from somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the fact that it's like I don't have to think about it. I'm like, it's Sorted Olio, can you just take care of this for me?
There's actually no conversation of like what he wants. He just says, create something that I need to do this, this, and this. This is the only things that I need in it. Figure out the rest of it.
Right.
Which is totally okay. Totally okay.
Yeah, because then it gives you the creativity part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, we want to make sure that we meet your needs. So.
Always. and always does. Yeah, so.
Okay. Cool.
That's it?
Anything else?
No.
Awesome.
Mm.
So this is your time to plug. So I will plug his social media for him. So you can follow him on Instagram and Facebook at Someone to Do It. Literally spelled out SOMEONETODOIT. It's also their website, someonetodoit.com. If you are in need for boat storage, boat management, boat detailing, all things boat. Boats, jet skis, watercrafts, whatever you need, indoor, outdoor marinas, and products. There is a wash and wax, a cream cleaner, a leather conditioner,
mildew
remover,
degreaser,
all of the things. So follow on Someone to Do It on Instagram and Facebook. All of their products are also available on Sorted Olio, so sortedolio.com. As you know, follow us on @SortedOlio on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube. It's SORTEDOLIO. Shop their exclusive pricing, only available to you, the SO community, on sortedolio.com. Thanks for joining us on our Father's Day edition. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, dads-to-be, granddads, grandpas, and what other nicknames are there for grandfathers? Papas, poppies,
grandpappy,
grandpuppies, great-granddads. If you have a grand-dog, you are also a grandfather.
But you also miss grandpa.
No, we don't call you grandpa.
You don't call me grandpa, but everybody else calls their
Yeah, grandpas.
Yeah.
Granddads. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Thanks for joining us on this special edition of The Sorted Conversation with my one and only dad. Tune in to the next episode coming soon. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for joining us. See you.